After creating the appropriate levels for the superstructure for the Essex, the next step is to create the exterior wall object. In order to create a wall object, you must be in one of the floor plan views. So what you will need to do is, in your floor plan views in your project browser, you will select Finish Floor 1. So you will double click on the Finish Floor 1 floor plan view. While in the Finish Floor 1 floor plan view, you will select your Architecture tab. In the Architecture tab, you will select the Wall tool in the Build section of the ribbon. After selecting the Wall tool in the Build section of the Architecture ribbon, in your properties you should see a basic wall selected. What you will need to do is select one of these basic wall options. So in this case you can select the generic 6-inch wall, and what you're going to do, you're going to edit this wall. In order to do that, you will need to click on the Edit Type icon. After selecting the Edit Type icon, the Type Properties dialog box will appear. Right beside the Type section, you will see the button for Duplicate. You need to select the Duplicate button, and we're going to rename this wall to say Exterior 4-inch brick, and select OK. Next, beside the structure, we're going to edit the structure of this wall. So we will select the Edit button. This will take us to the Edit Assembly dialog box. In the Edit Assembly dialog box is where we will start to add the components for our 4-inch brick exterior wall. For this function, we're going to leave this as Structure 1. For the material, we're going to change the material we're going to find the option that says soft wood. So it'll say softwood lumber. We're going to select this as our material for our framing member, which is the stud. For the thickness, we're going to enter the width of our 2x4 stud, which the actual width of a 2x4 is going to be 3 1/2 inches. So we'll type 3 1/2 inches for the thickness and press enter. In order to add another component, we're going to select layer 1 and click on the insert button. This will add an additional component to our wall structure. The next function that we're going to, or the next component that we're going to put in, is going to be the sheathing. The function of the sheathing is a substrate. So we will select the down arrow under function and select the substrate option. The material for the sheathing we will need to find in our list one that says plywood sheathing. So we'll select plywood sheathing and click on OK. For our thickness for the plywood sheathing, we're going to use 1/2 an inch. So we'll type in 1/2 inch and press enter. To add another component, we're going to select layer 1 and select insert. The next component we're going to add is going to be the building paper. So the function for the building paper is going to be membrane layer. The material, we're going to select material, and we need to find one for paper. If there's not one in there that exists for building paper, then we will need to create it. But it does exist. So we will select the option for building paper and click OK. For the membrane layer, this is the only function that you can have a 0 thickness. So we will leave the thickness for the building paper at 0. To add another component, we will select the layer 1 and select insert. The next component we need to add for our 4-inch brick wall is the airspace. So we'll select the function. This will be set at thermal air layer. The material is going to be air. The thickness of the airspace or the air cavity in the brick wall should be set at 1 inch. So for the thickness, we will type in 1 inch and press enter. To add another component, which will be the brick, we need to select layer and select insert. Since this is our finished material, it is our exterior material, the function will be finish 1. So whenever you are adding your finished exterior material, that will have a function of finish 1. The material is going to be brick. We will select the one that says brick common and select OK. The thickness of 4-inch brick, the actual thickness of 4-inch brick is 3 5/8 of an inch. For masonry units, you always subtract 3/8 of an inch from the nominal size, which in this case the nominal size is 4 inches. So this builds our wall object from the framing member or the stud to the exterior material. We need to include on the inside of the stud another component for this wall. So we will select layer 7 and click insert. We want to make sure that this particular component is inside the stud. So we select layer 7 and we're going to move that particular layer down so it is outside of the core boundary. Our function for this particular component, our function for this component is going to be finish 2. The finish 2 is assigned to our component of the wall that is inside of the building or inside of the stud. The material is going to be gypsum wallboard. So we're going to select gypsum wallboard here and click OK. The thickness of the gypsum wallboard is 1/2 of an inch. If you want to preview the wall, if you go down to your bottom left corner of the Edit Assembly dialog box, you select the Preview button. This should allow you to see the preview of the wall as it will look in floor plan view. You see the gypsum board, the 2x4 stud, the sheathing, the airspace, and the 4-inch brick. After adding all of the components that make up the exterior 4-inch brick wall, we will select OK in the Edit Assembly dialog box. In the Type Properties dialog box, we will also select OK. This will take you back to the Finished Floor 1 floor plan view.